In this video, we're going to take a look at using a conjugate to rationalize the denominator. All right, now, first of all, you have to know what a conjugate is. All right, we take a look at, say, the denominator, and we want to make the conjugate, which is this binomial with the opposite sign. Now, the reason we do that is because that is the factored form of the difference of two squares, which is going to make multiplying that bottom a whole lot easier. So I take the opposite sign and write it on top of each other because this now is a form of 1. I'm multiplying by a form of 1, so I am not changing my original equation. All right, now the reason we do that, we call that a conjugate because across the bottom here, that is the factored form of the difference of two squares. So if I took a look at that, really it's the binomial of the square root of 5 minus the square root of 2 times the binomial square root of 5 plus square root of 2. All right, now, if we were to multiply this out and use FOIL, all right, it would take a long time. Our middle terms would fall out. So the shortcut here is to take the first term and square it, take the second term and square it, and since I know that this is the factored form of the difference of two squares, I know a minus sign goes in between right there. So square root of 5 squared is just going to be a 5. Square root of 2 squared is just going to be a 2. I can real quickly get to a 3 there on the bottom without having to FOIL, have 4 terms cross out the middle terms. Okay, so that's why we do that. So if we go ahead over here on the top, we're going to do nothing more than distribute. So 6 square root of 5 plus 6 square root of 2. All right, now I am going to show the work here. We're going to take the first term and square it here on the bottom, minus take the second term, square root of 2, and square it. All right, we're going to come down here. Can't do anything with that numerator, so I'll have a 6 square root of 5 plus a 6 square root of 2. All right, now, like I said over here, square root of 5 squared is just going to give me a 5. Square root of 2 squared will give me a 2. That's going to give us a 3 on our bottom. Now, at the same time in this step, let's take a look at the fact that there is a 6 in both of those terms. And so let's factor out not a 6. Let's just factor out 3, because if I factor out a 3, it'll cross out with a 3 in the bottom. So I'm going to take a common factor out, not necessarily the greatest common factor. So let's take out a 3. That'll leave us with a 2 square root of 5 plus a 2 square root of 2. All right, and the reason I only wanted to take out a factor of 3 was so that 3 and 3 would real easily cross out there. All right, reducing then, I will just end up having a final answer of 2 square root of 5 plus 2 square root of 2. They are not like radicals, so we cannot add them. That's going to be your final answer. So thanks for watching. This was just one quick example of how to use that conjugate to rationalize a denominator.